us more about the novel, and congratulations. Will you tell
Thank
us
you.
about that? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's in progress. I'm currently working on revisions, and it's the timeline is that it should be out next spring. So, okay. As I said, it was my dissertation first. It's called The Last Karankawas, and again, in progress. So as of right now, it's called The Last Karankawas. And it's a novel and stories. When I wrote it as a story collection. Those labels are very nebulous. Like people don't quite know which one is which, what the definitions are. I think of it in terms of a linked story collection, which is what it was when I wrote it first. Every story stands alone, but if you've read all of them, you can kind of see the small connections. Like you might have to dig a little bit, but you'll recognize a character and go, oh yeah, Beeve. Oh yeah, she was in the first story. I remember that. Or oh, this is the place that was mentioned in 2 stories ago when she said she was going to be traveling. So the threads were there, but to me they were very nebulous and they were very thin, because in my mind I was working on each of these as individual stories, which I had done over the course of my school. When I sold it, and was very fortunate to have an editor who allows me to kind of keep that vision, and she recognized too, hey, but this is a novel, if you want to call it. These are telling a larger story, and there's something beyond just catching an Easter egg here and there. Ooh, cool. She was like, there's telling this larger story with a lot of voices. So that's what we've been working on. I'm very excited about it, but it's a lot of work. It's just trying to figuring out the connections, the connective tissue that's there, and drawing it out and making it more apparent. I always tell my students and my family too, because they keep asking, is it a novel or is it not? How many, what do the chapters look, how many chapters are there? And I'm like, okay, it's not quite like that. It's, I equated a lot to the Marvel universe, just to say it's the universe, right? It's the Garza universe. You can watch Black Panther, and you can watch Iron Man, and you can watch Thor: The Dark World, and you can watch, what have you, Infinity War. And each of those would be probably great and fine on their own. But if you've seen the whole collection, you get the larger picture, right? So that's sort of where my book is at this point. It's much more Marvel universe in the later years than, the first ones where it was like, here's one episode of Thor, here's one episode of, Black Panther, here's one episode of Captain Marvel. That's how I think of it right now. So it's in progress to become much more unified and becoming one cohesive arc, told in many voices.